Good morning everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today here we are with one more interview experience. So recently I got an opportunity to have an interview with Nest Technologies. So in this video I'll be sharing you the interview questions that I have encountered in the first round of interview. So coming to the interview process, I have just attended one interview round and waiting for the upcoming rounds, and it was through a Zoom. So we have used Zoom. It was a virtual interview type. So coming to the role for which I have applied, it was full stack developer. So basically they have asked me the questions on full stack developer role, like for Angular in the front end and Java in the back end. And location was Hyderabad. Experience was 7 years experience. Interview type, it's a virtual, as I already said, and through Zoom we have called. uh, the interview was conducted through Zoom, and interview day was a weekday. And how I got shortlisted, so basically my profile got shortlisted through Naukri, so one of the leading recruiting firm in Hyderabad. I got a call from them regarding the opening, and I thought it was a good choice, as even though it was for NES, I have to work at ADP location. So I thought it was a good opportunity to work at ADP. So and I have taken it up as a challenge, and I said okay for the interview. So this is the interview call letter. So the interview has happened on 18th March 21, and you can see it is a full stack developer, like senior Java full stack developer they are saying. And I have written few things here to so coming to ourselves, like who are we and what we do. So this is for basically we are a bunch of software engineers who attend interviews and share our real-time interview experiences through this video. In We expect that at least it might help someone who is looking out for similar kind of videos. So that was a motive behind this video sharing. If you are on a channel for the first time, you can visit our channel and you can go through the different interview experiences and interview questions that we have already shared. And if you want to contribute us, you can reach out to us at the email ID that is given in the description or in the about section. And we have recently, like, we have started WhatsApp group as well, so you can join the group as well to discuss the questions, and that link is given in the description as well. So this was about ourselves. So coming to the first question, it was like, tell me about your technical stack and the current project. So I have listed out all the technologies that I have worked on and explained about the complete architecture of our current project. So to be honest, the interviewer was not paying much attention at that time. He was going through the resume of mine. So I was saying no cross question occurred. Usually when we explain our project architectures, we get questions, cross questions, but here it was not like that. So he was actually going through my resume. I can see that in the video. And coming to the next question, what is the difference between qualifier and primary? So the difference here is like, qualifier should be like used in conjunction with auto word always. Like this will indicate the bean, like the bean name which needs to be auto word in case of like multiple beans with the same type are present in the application context. So at that time we have to use a qualifier and we have to give one specific name. So the name will be configured at the auto word as well, so that bean gets injected there. Coming to primary, like primary should be used with like both at the rate bean or at the rate auto word, which indicates which bean should be given higher preferences when there are like multiple beans of the same type and you don't want to use at the rate qualifier. If you are using at the rate primary, then primary will take the precedence. Like one example can be taken, like when in a framework expects a bean some of some type, but if you are having multiple data sources and you want to have configured multiple entity managers, in those cases this qualifier will help us out. So this was about the differences. Then there was a question on Java 8. So what do you mean by predicate, supplier and consumer? So I have explained them in this way, like basically these are functional interfaces. So predicate basically has only one abstract method, that is test, which accepts an argument and it will return a boolean value. And like coming to supplier, it has only one method, that is get, doesn't have any other default and static methods as well. And like coming to consumer, so it will have only like the name suggests, it will have only one functional interface, like one abstract method, that is accept. So these are the, this was about this uh, functional interfaces of predicate, supplier and consumer. Then there was question again on like flat map, like what is flat mall all about, like in which scenarios we go and use about flat map. To be honest, like I have never worked on flat map, so uh, I remember in vaguely like it helps in converting the stream of collections to a stream of normal stream. If you are having a list of list, so it will basically, if when we apply flat map, it will convert into a list. So that scenario, like basically it will flatten the object when we are multiple collections or multiple arrays in one, in one other collection. So in that scenario we go with it. To be honest, I never worked on this flat map, so vaguely I have answered on this. So the next question was what will happen if the equals method is not implemented. So to be honest, I didn't get the question. I have explained him all about like hash code and equals method, what is the relationship between hash code and equals method and everything, but I don't know why that guy was not at all satisfied. I explained like whenever if two objects are equal, then their hash code must be equal, but if their hash code is equal, then their method, then that doesn't guarantee that equals, that doesn't guarantee that method, that two objects are equal. And many things I have explained, like how we can override like like entire to and fro of hash map I have explained him here, but he was not at all convinced. Like I don't know what he actually expected here. Then the next question, in what all scenarios like same hash code is generated. So basically if, same hash code can generate in any scenario, no matter how good you write, how good you override hash code method, there is a chance, 1 in millions chance, that hash code might get generated same for different objects. And if you are implementing hash map poorly, then there are high chances that for every object the hash code might be written same. So the differences between concurrent hash map and hash map. So basically if you are using hash map in multi-threading environment, so if there are multiple threads that are simultaneously updating and fetching on hash map, then then we'll get concurrent modification exception. uh, but coming to concurrent hash map, this is not the case, because here only a segment on which the thread is acting that gets blocked, and other segments are open for other threads. So this is a basic difference. And we can convert a hash map to synchronized hash map using collection dot synchronized map of the map object, but here the case is the entire object will be locked here, like only one thread can act upon the entire hash map. Then there was like difference between hash map in Java 7 and Java 8, like what enhancement has been done in Java, like in a hash map from Java 7 to Java 8. So basically if you uh, have studied this, it is okay. Like most of us would be knowing that hash map internally uses linked list. So in Java 8, after a particular threshold, it starts using tree. So that is the enhancement that has happened here. Then what is the difference between the request mapping and get mapping? To be honest, I was unable to answer this question. I know about the request mapping for what it is used, but I was not able to recollect anything, because I never used at the get mapping, so I was unable to recollect it. But later on I have gone through Google, like basically it is extended version of request mapping plus get. Then there was question, how do you configure multiple DBs in Spring Boot? So this was very easy. Like if you just directly prepare, or if you are preparing on Spring Boot, this is one of the mandatory questions. It is an easy that we need to have multiple data sources if you are using multiple DBs. So a bit easy itself. How do you call stored proc in MyBatis? Again, like I was not aware of this as well. Like I never called store procs in MyBatis. I know basic operations, how to perform on basic operations, but I couldn't answer this. How do you design custom pipe in Angular? So there is a process of designing custom pipe. So firstly, like we need to import pipe and pipe transfer from Angular core. Then using a direct pipe, we need to name that pipe, like what pipe we are doing. Then we need to have a class that implements pipe transform, and we need to override the transform method. So basically that is how it is done. And finally we need to add this in the app module as well. So that is how we can make use of it. At least I know this is one of the way to create a custom pipe, and the same I have answered. What is the difference between ng for and ng for off? Like, to be honest, I don't know. I know ng for, but I don't know, like I never worked on ng for off. So I have explained him about ng for, like basically iteration we go for it, we go with this directive, but I was not sure on ng for off. To be honest, I have heard for the first time this one, like ng for off. Then what is the difference between ng class and ng style? So in ng class we are loading a css class defined in some place like bootstrap, and in ng style we are setting the css style that we want that element to have. What is annotation used for service class in JUnit? Again, a bit confused here, like specifically I don't know, like we usually use, if I am going with Mockito, Power Mockito, we use at the rate of Power Mockito or at the rate mock, these annotations we use, but specifically for service class even I am not sure. Then there was a question on like this, like we have to, there is a table employee, and inside that both employees and their manager reside, and I have to find employee and the employee, respective employee manager from the table. So basically if you are using self joiner here, we can get the employee manager both. Then which one do you go, like synchronized method or synchronized block? So I have said like going with the synchronized block will be always good, as it blocks only a particular part of the code rather than blocking the entire method. What are the different life cycle hookups in Angular? So to be honest, at that moment I was only remembering ng on init and ng on destroy, but there are list of things that ng view, init view, there are few other things as well, like I couldn't remember, so I couldn't answer this, to be honest. Then there were questions about functional interface, like basically what is the concept of functional interface, why it got introduced in Java, it like what is the relationship between lambdas and functional interface, and it was a bit deep discussion here, and he asked me to create a functional interface, what will happen if I am having multiple methods inside it, so on, like that. And then there was in detail about optional class as well, like where exactly we have used in our project, and what it is, like how you got benefited using optional class. These were type of questions were asked. Then there was questions on CI/CD. To be honest, never worked on that, like, as we are having DevOps team. So basically we those people, we just mail them to deploy some version, so they will deploy, build and deploy. So I said the same. Then how to configure actuator in Spring Boot? So this is one more question that came from Spring Boot. So basically we need to have a dependency of Spring Boot starter actuator, and in the application dot properties we need to have the properties like management dot security dot enable, and to be made it to false, and on which port you want to run this actuator, like the management dot port equal to some port number we will give. And once we start the Spring Boot application, we can use we can access the matrices of the application, like whether we want to look at the health or environment or beans or info of that, or the trace. So these are few things, endpoints that gets initialized. How cache is maintained in your application? So coming to the front end, we used to make, we in the Angular side, we use local storage to maintain the cache, and in the backend side we were using JBoss, and I have explained the same. So these were the typical questions. And coming to the feedbacks, to be honest, like interview was good. There were few questions I couldn't answer, but still I was able to answer like 95% of questions that he has asked. And I went on to ask my feedback to the HR, like sorry, to the recruiting consultants. They said that I have cleared the round, but after that I haven't heard anything from the company, like regarding the next rounds or any online exam will be there or any test will be there. So don't know what will happen. So the conducted month was March 21. So this was about the interview with Ness. And if you have liked this video, please subscribe and share this video to other technical platforms, so that someone who is looking out for similar kind of videos will be helpful, will be helped here, and provide the feedback by commenting whether you have liked the video or not. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, as there are many videos that are coming up in. And thank you for watching.